how I felt week 3 went. I think it went quite fast. How a week goes, it went fast for a week. It was research mainly. I was looking into artists, inspiration, things I want to avoid in my project, things I wish to keep and not avoid, the opposite, I guess. Obviously, I found out that there isn't anything I wish to avoid, really, because I want to at least see or experience it to then tell myself, okay, I won't go there again. You know, I want to see the whole field of music before I can even think to say, you know, I wish to avoid this and I wish to avoid that. I think that's quite a negative way of thinking. But if I had to say something I wish to avoid, maybe for this project, maybe classical music, just because it's not because it's hard for my, I don't know, to be honest, even that, like, I'm gonna look into classical because my concept is exploring the illusions and emotional connection between the listener and the speaker, and how the composer, lyricist, author, songwriter, singer expresses their insanity or, you know, emotions, expressions, and as a whole through the use of harmonies, melodies, and just chord progressions, literally everything in music, how they can do it. Basically how they can make music a language, which it already is. But no, week 3 went very fast. I was researching things to avoid, things not to, and I think just taking an inspiration from nature in a way, but that progressed onto week 4. But I started on week 3. Things like when I went for a run and I was looking at some roses that just started to blossom. There was some really nice, I think, like crimson, like blood crimson, very dark roses, and a mix between like candy floss pink and white. It was very cool. And I was talking about them, how they represent like indie music, romance, you know, like, well, one of my songs, which I was going to do at first, which is now called And Summer, which I've developed into a new song, one of my own originals, and it was just talking about how the flowers represented this girl, And Summer. Yeah, but you can check that out if you want, which is in a blog before this, obviously, because I'm talking about it. But yeah, week 3 was, like I said, it was starting to explore nature, how nature sort of is literally one of the most connected things to music. Through classical, some composers want to represent nature, some composers want to represent the weather, storms, like peaceful flowers, just everything. And I was looking into the potential of music and potential of people, how time is on your side but not on your side. On your side if you know how to convince him or her to basically just to use time. But yeah, that's all I did in week 3 really. I talked about nature and things I wish to avoid and not an inspiration. Looking into Tyler the Creator, XXXTentacion, and The Hunter. The Hunter is like an indie band, very cool. I feel like I get a lot of my band style from them. Obviously, we're a lot more trap, not pop, but I want to progress into jazz, classical, like mixing genres, because I think that would be really cool. And I'm going to explore that even more, about mixing genres and exploring all sorts of music in this project. But no, then XXXTentacion, he's a trap artist, which I looked into my first week as well, which he is very talented in the way that he started off trap and rap, and his genres alternate in a way which he always keeps to his roots. So his root is obviously him and how he expresses his music, which is obviously his voice, the way he uses his instruments. They're always going to be the same, but he does progress into different genres. So he's got like, trying to think, rap, obviously a few pop songs, but they're not pop. Indie-ish. He's got some like cool, funky tunes. It's weird because some he does, I can't even name the genres because they're so weird and different, which I love about it. And he does country, but obviously he doesn't sing it country, which is cool as well. But he's another guy that, as not really the hunter, but he's one of the guys that I looked into who is very open about how he sees and feels about music and about himself. I'm just going to change the song. But yeah, he's a very good inspiration for me in the way of lyrics. Not what he says, more like how he expresses them and his emotions towards that radiates everyone. He wants people to feel what he's feeling without understanding what he's going through in a way, which I can relate to that in a way. But someone I'm going to look into is 21 Pilots, AJR maybe, I'm not sure, but yeah, I kind of want to look into 21 Pilots because of their lyrics. It's very much like mine, which I love. But then I also want to look into people like Mozart, Beethoven, just all of them, because I want to not include classical music in my project. Well, include it in my project, but not include it in my final pieces. But I do want to look into it to understand how they get their emotions across in a way, how they make people visualize, whether it's, I don't know, an aquarium or a forest or romance or the Eiffel Tower, like how they make people see imagery in their head. I think that's very clever, and I know they do it because when I listen, even if I don't imagine what they want me to, it's very similar, whether it's romance, more broader subjects, but yeah, but I mean, yeah, I want to look into that for inspiration and with my lyrics, but instrument wise, like, I don't know, I want to look into world music a bit, and see if I can add anything, if it's appropriate to my music, which I don't know if it will be. I might not even include it in my final piece, but I would definitely want to look into that, just because I think it's cool. And maybe look into Snarky Puppy or something, because they do some really cool stuff. But yeah, inspiration-wise, XXXTentacion, The Hunter, Tyler the Creator, which I just said, he's very different. He's got some cool songs which he collaborates with Kali Uchis, which is another artist which I'm going to look into because she's very, very cool. But yeah, just that's inspiration on expressiveness, if that's a word, of emotions and feelings, which I think is really cool. But yeah, I definitely want to explore more in nature, because I just think something to do with nature, whether it's the divine proportion, which I'm going to look into, I think that's very cool, which there's going to be a blog about that, just how everything's so aesthetically pleasing in life in general, even if you can't see it, someone else sees it as aesthetically pleasing, so I'm going to look into that. But yeah, I think that's all I've got right now, so I'll probably do another one like this probably later on, maybe halfway through the project or something. But yeah, that's how week 3 went for me, how I personally perceived it, how I used it to my advantage, and how quick it went. But yeah, we'll just see where this project takes me, because I'm very interested. And I know I was talking about classical, I might not go there, but potentially I will. Like, I have no idea. But I definitely want to use genres which I don't feel like I will, but use the way they express emotions and their thoughts in their head to the audience. I think that's very cool. But yeah, that's me for now. We'll see where this project takes me, because I'm interested.